Commander, I've been staring at this system for 6 hours. Either I'm wrong, or your entire fleet has been flying blind for 31 years.
The engineer found a flaw 31 years of Vel'nari missed. The observation deck of the EUF Horizon Reach hung 300 kilometers above Earth, close enough that the blue curve of home filled the starboard viewport like a painted dream. Mara Voss stood there every morning with her coffee, Earth Union Fleet printed on the mug in simple block letters, and watched the planet breathe. She was not supposed to be here. Not in the sense of protocol or rank, she had both, but in the sense that no human engineer had ever been assigned to a joint vessel before. The Horizon Reach was a collaboration. Human hull, Vel'nari Navigation Corps, and a crew that had spent the first 3 weeks pretending the other species didn't exist. Commander Selvin changed that when he handed her a data tablet on day 4 and said flatly, "Fix it or don't. Either way, stop wandering my corridors." She fixed it. A misaligned atmospheric recycler causing a 0.3% oxygen drop in Section 9. Minor. She found it in 40 minutes. Selvin had not spoken to her since, but he stopped walking past her like she was furniture. That was enough. Mara didn't need approval. She needed problems. And on day 31 she found one. Started with a hum. Not a sound exactly. More like a pressure in her back teeth when she stood near the navigation alcove. The Vel'nari didn't seem to notice it, their elongated fingers gliding across crystal panels with practiced ease, their 4 eyes tracking data streams Mara could barely parse. But the hum was there, low and rhythmic, and Mara had grown up in a machine shop in Bremen. She knew what a stressed bearing sounded like. She pulled up the navigation core schematics that night. Not because she was assigned to. Because the hum wouldn't let her sleep. 6 hours later, she had a cup of cold coffee, 3 empty data pads, and something that made her hands go still. The Vel'nari Navigation Corps used a harmonic resonance model, their version of a gyroscope, essentially, but quantum-threaded and self-correcting. It was, by all accounts, perfect. The Vel'nari had been using it for over a century. They had shared the basic architecture with humanity as part of the Fleet Integration Agreement, and human engineers had spent a decade marveling at its elegance. What no one had noticed, what 31 years of joint operation manuals and 6 generations of Vel'nari navigators had apparently never flagged, was a drift coefficient embedded in the tertiary calibration loop. It was tiny, 0.0004% per cycle. Invisible in short-range travel. Negligible on standard routes. But cumulative. Deeply, dangerously cumulative. On any voyage exceeding 400 light-hours, the drift would stack. Not randomly, predictably, but only if you knew to look. The system didn't fail. It quietly relocated failure into the future, compressing navigational error into the exact moment a ship needed precision most. Emergence from fold space near a gravitational body. Mara ran the numbers 4 times. Then she sat back, looked at the star field outside the viewport, and said nothing for a long while. She found Selvin in the command alcove at 0400, which was, she had learned, when he did his actual thinking. He looked at her the way all Vel'nari looked at humans, patient in the way a mountain is patient, waiting for you to stop being weather. "Commander," she said, "I need 10 minutes." He gave her 8. He used 6. When she finished, the silence on the deck was the kind that rearranged things. 2 junior Vel'nari officers had drifted closer during her explanation. Selvin had not moved, but his secondary eyes, the pair that tracked ambient data passively, had closed. That was, she had been told, how Vel'nari looked when something hit them unexpectedly hard. "This cannot be correct," he said finally. "I know," Mara said. "Run it yourself. I want you to find my mistake." He did. For 2 hours. With 2 of his senior navigators. Mara drank her coffee, reheated now, terrible, and waited on a bench outside the alcove, watching Earth rotate. When Selvin emerged, his expression was composed, but his posture had changed. In the weeks she'd spent learning to read Vel'nari body language, she'd begun to understand that the shoulders told the truth when the face would not. His shoulders were low. "How did you find it?" he asked. "It hummed," she said. The stressed component hummed. "I grew up around machines." He was quiet for a moment. 47 Vel'nari vessels have made voyages exceeding 400 light-hours in the last year alone. "I know. If they emerged near a gravity well with compounded drift. I know." He looked at her for a long moment. All four eyes, which she had learned was a gesture of full attention, not aggression. "Why did you come to me at 0400 with this?" "Because," Mara said simply, "I didn't want another 6 hours to pass where a ship might fold." The correction was issued fleet-wide within 18 hours. A calibration patch, mandatory, quietly labeled Voss Selvin Protocol in the Internal Maintenance Registry. No announcement. No ceremony. The kind of thing that saved lives without anyone ever knowing lives needed saving. 3 weeks later, Selvin placed a new data tablet in front of Mara at breakfast. Dense schematics. Vel'nari propulsion architecture. Something no human engineer had ever been given access to. "There is a component in the secondary fold initiator," he said, "that has always produced a sound our instruments cannot classify." Mara picked up the tablet, looked at the schematics, looked at him. "What kind of sound?" "Our engineers describe it as a hum." She set down her coffee mug, Earth Union Fleet, worn at the rim, and smiled. "Clear my schedule."